A seat for two. She always chose the same bench in the park, the one under the old oak tree, where the sunlight filtered through like lace. Her name was Claire. She came every Saturday with a book in her bag and a quiet kind of sadness in her eyes. One day, she found someone already sitting there. A man, maybe her age, with a sketch pad on his lap and headphones over his ears. He looked up when she paused in front of him. "Oh," he said, pulling his headphones down. "Do you want to sit?" Claire hesitated, then nodded. "It's my favorite spot." "Mine, too," he smiled, shifting over. Maybe it was meant to be shared. They sat in silence for a while, he drawing, she reading, but something felt different that day, like the park had grown warmer, familiar. Every week after that, they met on the same bench. Sometimes they talked, sometimes not. He sketched birds, trees, sometimes her. She read aloud sometimes, just to hear his quiet laugh at the funny parts. One Saturday, she arrived to find a small note taped to the bench. "Had to leave town for a while, but I'll be back. Same bench, same time. Save me a seat." "Hey." She smiled, sat down, and waited, not just that day, but for the weeks to come. And when he did return, breathless and grinning, carrying coffee for two, her heart answered simply, "You kept your promise." A seat for two, Part 2. Autumn had crept into the city while he was gone. The trees around their bench were now golden, and the wind carried the smell of leaves and something softer, like hope. When he came back, she was already waiting. Same coat, same book, same small smile. But this time, her eyes lit up like she hadn't blinked in days. "I brought coffee," Alex said, holding out the cup like it was more than just a drink, like it was a piece of the bond they'd built. Claire took it gently. "You remembered how I like it?" He sat down beside her, brushing his jacket against hers. "2 sugars. No milk. Same as the first time we didn't speak." They laughed. They spent hours on that bench, catching up like they'd been apart for years. He told her about the trip to take care of his mom, how quiet the town was, how much he missed her. She didn't say much. She just listened, the way she always had. And when he looked at her, there was something different in his eyes. Not just a comfort friendship. Something warmer, braver. That evening, as the light faded and the park began to empty, Claire turned to him. "Why this bench?" she asked. "Out of everywhere." Alex looked down at the worn wooden slats beneath them. It was the only place that ever felt like something could begin. She reached for his hand, and he met her halfway. A seat for two, Part 3. Almost. Winter came earlier than usual. The park grew quiet. Fewer birds, fewer people, but the same 2 figures on the same bench every Saturday, wrapped in thicker coats and warmer silence. The air between them had changed. It carried something unspoken, like a question that lingered on the tip of every shared glance. They never called it love. Not yet. One Saturday, Claire arrived late. Her cheeks were pink from the cold, hair tangled from rushing. "I thought you wouldn't come," Alex said, his voice soft, like he wasn't sure whether he was joking or confessing. "I almost didn't," she replied. He turned to her. "Why?" She hesitated, her fingers tightening around her scarf. "Because I'm afraid." "Of what?" Claire looked away. "Of wanting more. Of ruining this." Alex was quiet for a long time. A squirrel darted across the path. A dry leaf landed on a sketchbook. "I think about you when I'm not here," he said finally. "I walk past coffee shops and wonder if you like them. I see something beautiful and wish you were there to see it too." She didn't say anything at first, just stared at the lake, frozen at the edges. Then gently, "I think about you too." The wind picked up, and with it, their fear, their hope, the closeness they hadn't dared name. He turned his body toward her, fully, completely. "Can I?" But just then, a snowflake landed on her nose. They both laughed, too suddenly, too loudly, like the moment had dodged its own ending. So he didn't kiss her. Not yet. Instead, they sat there, side by side, with hands nearly touching. Almost. A seat for two, Part 4, the letter. It snowed for days. The park was silent. the bench buried under a soft, white hush. Claire came, once, bundled in layers, her footprints the only ones carving a path toward the tree. Alex didn't come that week, or the next. At first, she thought maybe he was sick, or busy, or simply trapped indoors by the storm. But something in her chest, that part that had started beating differently ever since he first offered her a seat, knew it was more than weather. And then one morning, a letter arrived. Folded once, clean handwriting, no return address. Just, Claire, I didn't know how to say this to your face. Maybe I'm a coward. Maybe I just didn't want to see your expression change. I've been offered a job. Out of state. A real chance. A design team I've dreamed of since I was 17. I leave in a week. When I found out, my first thought was, I have to tell Claire. My second was, I don't want to go, and that's the problem. Because I would stay for you, in a heartbeat. But I don't want you to be the reason I don't chase something I've worked for. Unless you feel the same. If you do, come to the bench. Saturday. If you're not there, I'll understand. I'll go. But I'll never forget the girl with the cinnamon coffee and the quiet eyes who made silence feel like the loudest part of my week. Alex.